expect more from TRW, heating, cooling, plumbing.
All right, welcome back, listeners. We have a special guest today. We have Paul from down in New Lenox, here with us today, and we also have Jimmy going to co-host. We got the co-host Jimmy in the house. Say hi, everyone.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Hello. Awesome, Paul. Well, thanks for being our guest today. I guess tell us a little bit about you and your role, and what does your day-to-day kind of look like?
Well, I enjoy going out and meeting all kinds of new people, making the connection with the customers. We're there to help them out. I've been doing this since I was 18, so we got 29 years in it now.
Bravo. Pretty good.
29 years, you said?
Yes.
I guess what made you, how did you get in the trade?
I actually worked for Dominick's.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the dairy frozen department, and their refrigeration in-house guy was out almost every week fixing the coolers.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like to take things apart and fix them.
You were working for Dominick's?
Yes.
And then when the guy came, you would kind of shadow him?
Yeah, I was being you can say shadowing.
Yeah.
It was interesting is what they did. And then it was coming time for graduation of high school. The guidance counselors say, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
I just up late one night, seen the commercial for ETI. I'm like, hey, that looks cool.
Oh, you went to ETI?
ETI, yep.
Wow, I didn't realize they'd been around 29 years.
That was
good.
back in Blue Island when they had two campuses. They had Blue Island and Itasca.
Really?
And then they made the one over in Willowbrook.
Wow.
Yeah, because I know we have quite a few technicians that kind of come out of the ETI program altogether. Well, awesome. Well, we appreciate you being here. I guess, you've been with TR Miller for almost going on a year.
April will be a year.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's great.
Yeah. What do you like about it? How's Sean doing?
Sean's great.
Yeah.
Couldn't work for nicer people.
Where'd you work before you came to TR?
I'd say it was called Dykstra, which was bought out by Apex,
Got it.
which is now
What part of
Precision
town
today.
is that?
That was
got it.
Crestwood.
Got it. That's cool. How long did you work there as Apex bought it?
I think it was like 4 months.
4 months. Nice.
Where were you at prior to that? What?
It was a company called Martin in Mokina.
Oh, cool.
What is it?
Martin, the little small mom and pop shop.
Yeah.
Now, kind of thinking back about your history, I think Sean shared this with me. There was a time where you worked for Sean's dad.
Yes, that was back
Or with Sean's dad.
Yeah, in Anderson. That was right out of school when I was 18.
Really?
Yes.
Anderson.
Got it. So you went to ETI, you graduated, and then from there you went to Anderson
Correct.
and worked with Sean's dad.
Yep, he took me under his wings and kind of, showed me the ropes, straightened me out.
So did you know when you applied at TR that Sean, did you know any of that or no?
When I seen the name, I'm like,
Got it.
that's when I put two and two together.
Got it, yeah. So what's Tim like?
Tim's Sean's
Sean's
dad, right?
dad, yeah. So Tim's Sean's dad.
He's a good guy. He was
Yeah.
a practical joker. We'd
Yeah.
always play jokes at him.
Huh. It sounds like the apple doesn't
Sounds like
fall
Sean.
far from the tree.
Yeah, it was back in the day they ran S10 pickups with the cap on the back.
Oh, really?
And his dad would always leave the truck unlocked, so we would go in there, crank the radio all the way up, turn the heat on in the summertime, turn the wipers on.
Yeah.
I guess what similarities have you seen between Sean's dad Tim and Sean? Like, is there any similarities?
The joking side, he can take the jokes.
Got it.
That's fair. Sean can too. He's a professional.
I guess thinking back on your experience, I guess what's like maybe your most memorable experience? Over the 29 years, you've had a scene just about everything.
Yes.
What's been maybe your most memorable?
Working on the high rises in the city.
Interesting. Was
With
that with Sean's dad?
No, that was
or?
with a different place.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
That was, you'd be, 26 floors up, and they'd have the condenser bolted to the side of the wall in the fire escape.
Oh, wow.
No safety rope.
Yeah. No, thank you. I don't miss going to the city.
Yeah.
No, the city's not fun
No.
anymore.
I guess
We had done commercial, worked on chillers.
because that stuff's pretty large. I think
It is.
someone once explained to me that they would literally take water out of the river to cool the equipment. I don't know enough about it. That's what someone was sharing. I think it was Dobbs.
Listen, I was in a sketchy freight elevator once on like the 26th floor on Michigan Avenue. I don't like elevators, I'm afraid of heights, so I don't care to go in this.
Yeah, I think of, what is it? I call it the corner of the Cobb building, right there on the river.
Got it, the one that kind of spirals?
Yes. They take water out of the river for cooling.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
So, Paul, you got any kids?
One daughter, she'll be 17 in April.
Wow, nice. Yeah, I don't have any kids. How about you, Brian? You got any kids?
Yeah, she's amazing. She just got student of the month. We went to a ceremony. Yeah, she's awesome. And you just have the one?
Just the one, yeah.
And she's in the music, I believe you were just
Yep.
sharing with me, right?
She's in the, not marching band, but symphonic band. She also does lessons at a place called School of Rock. She's a percussionist.
Oh, I've heard of School of Rock. They got one in Plainfield.
Yeah, we've got.
What kind of band is she in? Can
It's
we unpack
symphonic.
that a little bit? What is that?
Symphonic. It's like the instruments, and she's the percussionist.
Oh,
she plays
gotcha.
the drums and
Nice,
the triangle and the Tiffany drum.
nice. So what do you guys got going down in New Lenox? What's going good down
We're slowly coming up the ropes, building the customers.
there? Yeah. What else is going good down there?
Got a great team down there.
Yeah. Who's your favorite?
Ooh, that's a curveball.
I have to say, Sean, great leadership.
Yeah.
How would you describe Sean's leadership? I always wonder, when people ask about leadership, they always ask, well, what's your style? And I always struggle with sharing my style. So I prefer when people like ask maybe, Jimmy or Mark, how would you describe Brian's? Like, how would you describe Sean's leadership style?
Gives us all the right guidance and the tools to make sure we're excelling out there.
How does that kind of show up, like day to day? Like as he provides the right tools, how does that kind of show up? And Sean is actually going to be recording right after this. And one of my questions is, Sean, explain your leadership. So I'm curious of what he says versus what you say.
Yeah, he sheds light. I would do something this way. He's like, try it this way, and his system works. His guidance does work. I've never had that before.
Yeah,
And that's one good thing about here is we're all one big family.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess thinking about it, what advice would you give to someone considering a career as an HVAC technician?
You're never gonna stop learning.
And how have you seen that over the last 29 years, almost 30 years now? I guess, what were furnaces like 30 years ago, and kind of walk us through like how they've kind of developed over 30 years?
The technology has taken a really big step forward. I mean, years ago you only had a thermocouple and a motor and a couple safeties. Now you got all these safeties in the units, which improves the efficiency.
What was probably like one of the first safeties to market? Was like a pressure switch, or what? When you say these safeties,
I would have to say like the pressure switch, like you said, for if the vent was blocked, it wouldn't fire up this, so you didn't get the carbon monoxide.
see, even in my short, I've been doing this for 15 years, and even in my short 15 years I remember when we were charging ACs and you just like felt the line, and you put a clamp on it.
Cold.
Yeah, beer can cold, and they literally made a tool to test for beer can cold. So you had to put the temperature on there, and if it wasn't this, I don't exactly remember, but didn't it like measure the suction line side where if it was like 33 degrees, you're good to go?
Yep, beer can cold. Yeah, we had an instructor teach us that.
R22.
And now I look at the equipment that's being installed, and there's static pressure and subcooling, superheat.
Constant torque motors. Sorry, Mark. I just dropped something on the table I wasn't supposed to.
There's so many more variables now to properly charge systems.
How did you get trained on like the technology, or how did you keep up with the technology?
Repetitively going to manufacturer training classes.
Got it. Was it always, because I mean we've been American Standard since the beginning of time. Now you've had probably different exposure to different types of equipment, right?
Yes.
What's your favorite one to work on besides American Standard?
I'd have to say Lenox.
Oh, cool. How come?
Their tech support's pretty good.
Okay. Do you just call? Is it here locally, like in the Chicago, like their tech support, like
It is.
Munches? You just call locally.
Right. Yeah, You call their number, but I think it goes down to Texas where
Is that where their plan is? Texas?
and yeah, that's where the factory is.
And then I guess, which one do you hate working on? Or what? I wouldn't say hate. Hate's a very strong word.
Which one do you not like working on the most?
Yeah, there we go.
Probably Carrier.
Really?
How come? What was the ones that they made? Was it Carrier that had the ones where you really can't get parts for them?
Lenox Falls.
Pulse, that's what
Yes,
it's called.
I've seen those.
Yeah. We
Those
ripped
are
those
fun.
out.
Those things were built like a tank.
What makes Carrier so challenging?
More compact. You can't get your big hands in there.
Yeah.
Well, I guess,
Well, how do you like being the tech support for TR Miller? Rumor on the streets in Plainfield is everybody calls you.
It's nice.
So what's the most like bizarre call you've gotten from the Plainfield branch?
and we won't drop the name
Oh,
of
I
who
don't
called.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah, just the
yeah,
situation.
we'll leave the name
Yeah.
out.
So a tech called you up and you're just like, wow, that's weird.
The flue pipe was sweating in the attic.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Was it galvanized?
I think it was. They came up through the wall at B vent, and then they ran thin wall across the attic,
No way.
and then up to B vent through the roof.
No.
They just, yeah, that's interesting. Not that I've ever done it that way, but I would imagine they couldn't get the B vent to line up. So they used some single wall. Yeah. Well, thank you for being our tech support. I do appreciate that.
I like it. Yeah, I like to give back to the younger guys. You know,
Yeah.
I
That's cool.
can't be out in the field forever.
Absolutely. I guess, kind of last question here, kind of wrapping us up. We're probably at about the 15-minute mark. Outside of work, what hobbies or activities do you enjoy to kind of decompress or maintain kind of a work-life balance?
I do watch a lot of videos on HVAC.
Do you?
Yes.
YouTube?
Yes.
Who's your favorite, like, because that's what it is, it's a channel, right?
Correct. What's the
HVAC
HVAC?
hacks. No, just kidding.
That's a funny one.
Yeah, that's funny.
There's HVAC School
Oh, cool.
with Brian Orr.
Awesome. Well, shout out to HVAC School.
Young guys listening, I would offer to go watch it.
The other one is HVAC R videos, but he's mainly like refrigeration.
Have you ever thought about making your own YouTube channel?
I thought about it, but I don't have time.
We could call it HVAC Paul.
I mean, with
Call Paul.
Call Paul. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
and the other one I do
That's
watch
actually
is,
solid.
the other one I do watch is Mikey Pipes.
Mm.
He's out of New Jersey.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Mikey Pipes or Call Paul?
Yeah. So, Paul, I'm going to do a twist here since Brian invited me. What question do you have for us?
Where do we see the company in the next couple of years? As far as growing, service wise?
Great question. I'll let Brian answer that.
All right.
He's got the grand plan.
Yeah, it's something I've been actually like really focused on lately is when we first kind of started, when me and Jimmy kind of got settled in our roles, I would say creating job opportunities and career paths was something we were highly focused on, and I would say we kind of retooled that and continuing. I mean, we want to continue to grow. We have, let's say 130 team members today. In over the next 2 years, probably pushing up closer to 200, 220, but really just creating career paths. As we talked with with you, Paul. Call Paul, getting that off the ground. It sounds great, but also, senior technicians look at creating a career path for them. How can a technician join our team from ETI? Young Paul, 29 years ago today. How can a young Paul join our team from ETI today? And then how can we create a career path for them, not, to go from a level 1 technician to a level 5, to a supervisor, to a department manager, and giving them the tools to be successful at each kind of stage or each level. So that's kind of where we want to continue to see the company grow, and super passionate about that.
And the other cool thing is the lab over in Plainfield upstairs.
Yeah, and rebuilding out. I mean, me and Jimmy have been talking about a live fire probably more frequently this last month than maybe years prior. So like redesigning that. Jimmy could probably elaborate a little bit more on his envision for that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for the plumbers. Obviously, not a lot of love in the room for the plumbers. So I think it's just, to Brian's point, is continuing to grow to have the resources in order to create a real technical academy, right? And bringing our own class through, and then creating, everybody talks about leadership development coming back, and so having a space that we can all train on that. So I just don't think that room can help support plumbing, so we're gonna have to figure a different situation to where we can support drain, plumbing, HVAC, and hopefully have a full-time teacher.
Yeah.
Would be ideally, I would say 2 to 3 years is probably a good timeline on that, and then still heading north. I mean, the Plainfield branch can't really go west. We don't go west of 47, so continuing to push our market up north. It seems like we're starting to get some traction up there.
And the Google reviews are helping too.
Oh, it's huge.
They're huge.
It's like last week. How did you hear about us? Oh, I Googled HVAC and you guys were the first name to pop up.
Can I let you in on a secret? Don't tell anybody though. Is that all the reviews that New Lenox drives to Bolingbrook actually helps Plainfield? Because we're in the Bolingbrook territory, so don't tell Sean that though.
Well, awesome, gentlemen. Well, Paul, thank you for your
Thank you,
time
Paul.
today. Jim,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, thanks for sitting in. And our listeners, give it a like, give it a comment, and we will be back with you guys next week. Thanks again.
Expect more comfort, more for your money. Go back to think we're friendly and fun. Expect more from G.R. Miller, heating, cooling, plumbing.